Hey everybody, so in today's tutorial we are going to learn how to connect C++ to Matlab. We are then going to learn how to create some simulations with our newfound technique. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is that, well, basically your computer doesn't know where Matlab is. And it doesn't know where it's supposed to send data to, it doesn't know how it's supposed to send data, and it doesn't know how it's supposed to receive data from MATLAB. So that's up to us to do. So what you're going to want to do is create a solution, create some code, call it whatever, in Microsoft Visual C++. Go to your source code name, mine's called MATLAB Practice. Go to Properties. Then there's a few things that we need to set here. There's about 4 different things that we need to set. So go to under Configuration Properties, go to VC++ Directories, and the first thing that we're going to need to add is under Executable Directories. So right now what you're going to want to do, go to Start, take any MATLAB instance of MATLAB 2012, or type in MATLAB down here, find any of them, and then go right click on them and go to Open File Location. And when you do that, it should take you to here. Should take you to MATLAB, and you should only have like one folder in there with your version number on it. Mine's 2012A student. So click on that, and then now, okay, so we're going to be setting the path in executable directories. So to do this, we're going to need to go to bin and then win32, and then in here right click on any file in here, right click, go to properties, copy the location, it should end in bin win32, and paste that in here in executable directories. So paste that entire path. Next, we're going to need to do it for include directories. So for include directories, we need to go to your MATLAB folder. Then we need to go to the extern file, and then the include file. And then once again, pick any of these, right click, properties, copy the location. It should end in extern/include. And then you're going to want to paste this inside the include directories path. Next, for this section, we need to do it for the library directories. And how we're going to do this is that we need to go to MATLAB, we need to go to the extern file, then we need to go to the lib file, then to Win32, then to Microsoft. Once again, right click on any of these object files, go to properties, copy and paste the location. It should end in extern/lib/win32/Microsoft. Paste that path into library directories. Okay, so now we need to go to linker, then go to input, and then you need to copy and paste these 4 things in here. So these are lib files, and these basically define stuff for MATLAB. They allow us to access MATLAB through Microsoft Visual C++. They hold the commands. So you're going to basically just need to copy these. And I'm not sure if you need all of them, but I know that basically if you have these 4 right here, they give you the ability to do everything that you should need to do in MATLAB. So they might give you a little extra ability, but that's not really a problem. So just go ahead and copy these 4 in there right now. They should be called the exact same thing on your computer. libmx.lib, libeng.lib, etc. Paste these into the additional dependencies section, and then click apply and OK. So finally, you might need to restart your computer at this point. I know I had to. But you might want to watch the rest of the video before you do that. But before you're actually able to access the Matlab engine, you might need to restart your computer because you changed the path. So now we are set. Now our computer knows where everything on Matlab is, and we have to do a few more things to get it fully connected to Matlab. So you're going to need to include this, include engine.h, and this basically includes the Matlab engine present in your computer. It gives you the ability to send files to Matlab. Then down here I just have standard C++ includes in outstream string and CMath. Then here is one of the last special things that we really need to do. And for each of those lib files that we included, those 4 lib files that we just included in the additional dependencies part under linker, for each one of them we're going to need to create a pragma comment, open parentheses, type of file and their lib files. Then we need open parentheses and then the name of the file, right? So for the file libmat that we included in additional dependencies, I need to type libmat.lib, and then right here for the type of file, I need lib. Okay, so for each of the 4 that we had, you need to write this out, pragma comment. Okay, Once you do that, now our computer knows everything about MATLAB. We know what files we're allowed to use. It has all the headers for those files, and it gives us the ability to access them. So now you should be connected to MATLAB. So here's the second part of the video. And the second part of the video is, okay, now we're connected to MATLAB. Now what the hell do we do with it? Now my favorite thing to do is that I really like C and C++ for data processing. I love the arrays. I love passing through loops. I love the syntax of it. I'm good at it. But the plotting is very lacking. You have to do a lot of work to get a decent plot in C++. I personally do not know how to do it. But MATLAB is very good at plotting. It has hundreds of different plot functions and different types of plotting, three-dimensional plots. It can handle data great. And it just makes it really simple. It makes it so we don't have to start from scratch, rebuild the wheel, so to say, for simulations. So now we're going to make some simulations and some graphs with MATLAB. And these will be simple. They are contrived examples, but it'll get the point across of the ability of MATLAB. So next what you're going to want to do is this actually opens up the Matlab engine. Everything we just did tells us where the Matlab engine is. Right now we're going to want to open it and connect it to our program right here. So you're going to need to make a pointer of type engine. Engine is the Matlab engine. I called mine pointer MP engine. Okay, then we're going to need to set this pointer equal to eng open null. And what this basically does is it just opens the Matlab engine. Okay, and this pointer is, name it something meaningful to you, because you're going to need to reference this name later on. Is every single time we send a command to engine, you're going to need to use the name of the pointer. Okay, so here we go. So I just have some constants right here that are just, this is the size of the arrays I'm using. This is the constant that does degrees to radians. So here's basically what the simulations are. This first simulation, I'm going to be passing entire arrays of trigonometric values to be plotted in MATLAB. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plot an array of sine values and an array of cosine values against the value of degrees. Okay, and you'll see what I mean by the end of this example. Okay, so for this, so that's what I have right here, the arrays. So this one holds an array of size 1,000 of sine values. This holds an array of size 1,000 of cosine values. This just holds an array. This is just an array of degrees. So this is basically the x values that these two are going to be plotted against right here. So this is my loop, and this just inputs values into all of here. So basically what this does is that the degrees is going to be equal to I. So for I is equal to 0, I is less than 1,000, I plus plus. That means that the 1,000 length of degree array will just hold 1,000 degrees. So let's just take this. So if I is equal to 0, then degrees index 0 is equal to 0. So that means that we're starting degree equals 0. And then I'm saying the sine value index 0 is equal to the sine of the degree value. Okay, so basically what I'm doing right here is I'm converting degrees to radians. I'm taking I is the degrees, and I'm timesing it by degrees to radians, which is a constant. So now I'm putting all the sine values in this sine array, and I'm putting the cosine values in the cosine array. Okay. Okay. So this is just some C++ right here. I'm assuming you understand this if you're watching this video on how to connect it. Pretty simple stuff. So now this just right here, I'm going to have two examples, so this allows me to choose which one I want to do. So now we're going to do example 1. So here comes the little bit complicated part. Is now we need to send data to MATLAB, and MATLAB handles all different types of data. It handles extremely complicated types of data. You can't just pass it a simple integer and just expect it to know what to do. You have to, it's kind of complicated how you have to pass data to it. But what you're basically going to want to do is copy down this format. Copy down this format that I have copied right here. And every single time you want to pass an array of values, it could be a 2-dimensional array, 1-dimensional array, an array of n dimensions to MATLAB, you're going to want to use this format right here. So the first thing we need to do, we're going to be going over this first line. You need to make a pointer of type mx array. I'm calling it sine. Now this pointer that I call sine is going to hold my entire array of sine values. Okay. Now we make it point to mx array because we have to pass a data type to MATLAB that MATLAB understands. So we're going to set this pointer equal to mx create double matrix. This is what you have to use to basically send data to MATLAB. Double matrix, and these are the dimensions of the matrix. So basically what this is right here, I'm passing a 1-dimensional array, otherwise known as a vector, of length array size. Right, so my sine array holds 1,000. Array size is defined as 1,000. So I'm saying that I'm passing an array of dimensions 1 of length of 1,000. And then you have to have this MX real in here. I'm not exactly sure what this does. It's MATLAB syntax. It tells it what type of data it is. I'm assuming it means it's a real number, like it's a real number being passed to MATLAB, I assume. But I'm not sure. I just know that you need to have that after the second comma. Okay, so once again, make a pointer to type MX array. And you want to set this equal to MX create double matrix. It has to be written exactly like this with capitalization, everything. Open parentheses, length of array, dimensions of array. Okay, so that's line 1. You might need to go back and rewatch it, but it'll settle in. It makes sense. So here's line 2. This is where it gets a little complicated, but what we're basically doing right here is we're putting values into this. So this is a pointer to type MX array. So what we basically need to do is make a pointer to this. A pointer, the pointer points to this that we're going to be putting values in this through. So what I'm basically doing right here is I'm getting a pointer for sign, MX get pointer sign, and then this is what it's pointing to, is my sign array. So I'm making a pointer for sign, and it's going to point to my array of sign values. Okay, so right here, if this was an array of heights, then right here I would have the name of the height array. Okay. So right here, these two values need to match, and then this needs to be the actual C++ data that you're passing, the name of the array, not the size of it. The size you're going to have over here. So it's going to be size of, and then the data type. So I'm passing doubles, type doubles, and then times the size of the array, right? So if I was passing an array of integers, it would be size of int, and then let's say the size of it was 2,000. I would go 2,000. And what this passes the size in bits to MATLAB. Okay, but mine is data type double, and it's the size array size, which I have defined as a constant as 1,000. So this passes the bits to MATLAB. It passes it. So this right here tells MATLAB the size in bits that the data needs to be. This tells it the value of the data. I'm saying that the value that it holds will be the value stored in sign array. And then this right here is just a pointer to the MATLAB data type. So I'm taking the values from sign array and I'm putting them in sign, which is a type MX array. And this allows us to transfer the data to MATLAB. Finally, on this third line, we need this eng put variable. It does what it sounds like. It puts a variable in the Matlab engine through the Matlab engine to MATLAB. Then, as said before, we need this pointer to the Matlab engine that we defined earlier. Mine is called MP engine. You need this right here. This basically says what engine to go through to send it to MATLAB. Then right here, you need the data that you're sending, right? So I have a sign, which points to MX array. Inside sign, I have the values of sign array, right? So sign array is stored in sign. Now I'm passing that entire array of values to MATLAB under the alias sign graph. So now every time I'm using MATLAB commands and I need to access this array, I will use the alias sign graph. Okay, so this is the name of the pointer to MX array that holds the values that we want to pass. This is the name that you're going to refer to it in MATLAB, and this is the pointer to the MATLAB engine that we defined earlier. So you'll probably need to watch that one more time. It'll help a lot if you watch it one more time or 2 more times or something like that. It'll sink in, but you really just want to copy down this format. And then you're just going to be changing the names of the pointers and the names of the array that you're passing and the size of it. Okay, so I do the same thing for cosine and the degrees array right here, both of these. So now I have it. Sorry guys, I just realized that YouTube only limits uploads to 15 minutes, and I know this is a bad place to cut off, but look for version 2 of this video. It will be posted in reply to this video, and we will pick up right where we left off, and we will show all of our plots and go over the different data types and everything like that. So make sure to look for that video. It will be the same title, and it will have the 2 next to it. It will be posted in the comment section and as a reply to this video.